Speaker, in a progressive modern economy, there are three tenets that are very important, which acts as a foundation of a thriving modern economy. One is the bureaucracy, which is modern. Number two is the rule of law. And number three is, of course, accountability through democracy. And Honorable Speaker, in our country like Kenya, which we must always do our best as leaders to make it a thriving modern economy. Honorable Speaker, it is very important that we know that the rule of law itself is a very important component when it also actually comes to the growth of an economy. For example, the story of Singapore is told, Honorable Speaker, and many people just think it's about manufacturing and it's about how the industry is set up in Singapore. But Honorable Speaker, many times, we don't see that many investors actually preferred to set base in Singapore based on the legal framework they had, Honorable Speaker, which is Commonwealth law, and which Kenya is also domiciled in, Honorable Speaker. Because when investors want to go into a country, one thing that is very critical is whether that economy respects the ownership, Honorable Speaker, of assets. And whatever enforces that in many respects is the judiciary, which acts as the anchor of the rule of law. But Honorable Speaker, even as we talk about judiciary itself, judiciary is by itself a bureaucracy because it is a system of government which has many stratas and that which is a system by itself. And it is important that even as we make our bureaucracy in terms of the executive efficient, through training, and also through dissemination of information to make it more efficient, it is also important that we look at the other side and the other levels of government, Honorable Speaker, judiciary being one of them, in terms of making it more efficient, more knowledgeable in all respects. And Honorable Speaker, having an institution that only plays that role goes into entrenching that. Across many economies and countries, we have seen even China in the ancient, Honorable Speaker, when during the Ding dynasties and the others, that the primacy of having a robust bureaucracy was very important. And bureaucracy is made robust through training, through dynamism in terms of information, so that all the time they continue to be abreast with time, to be dynamic in a matter of time, but also dynamic as a matter of getting in as much information as there is for efficient running and efficient decision making. Honorable Speaker, it is important that we know that the judiciary is not just about judges. There are many what I would call paraprofessionals who also take part in making our judiciary work. Yes, paralegal, yes. Honorable Karori Omodi, that's very good information. Paralegal. It is important that we know it is beyond only judges, but there are also others, people who take part of whatever happens there. And of course, having an institution like the one we call Kenya School of Government in the executive, having an equivalent in the judiciary will go a long way in making sure that you have refined staff who continue to get information as it comes and who continues to be as dynamic as the world itself. And it's important that we continue to also invest in it so that the administration of justice also continues to aid our economic growth, and especially through timely dissemination of justice, but also that which also is efficient and dynamic. Lastly, Honorable Speaker, it is also good that even us as a house, we also continue to be dynamic so that we continue to give our country the relevant laws, so that we don't have ambiguities when we go to the court of laws, so that we have straightforward judgments, Honorable Speaker, so that when we go before our judiciary, we can get clarity on the issues that we go to seek, Honorable Speaker. With those many remarks, I wish to submit.
What's your point of order? The Honorable Millie Odhiambo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, is Honorable Ndindi in order to talk about the Judicial Academy, which has to do with judiciary, without mentioning the decision that has just been made of our Honorable Nyoro. I thought he would take that as a very serious issue and discuss it within the context of what has just gone on, Mr. Speaker. Is he in order?
Much as it is entertaining what you have raised, one, it's not a point of order. Two, you raise or apprise on a point of order when the member is still on his feet contributing, not after he sat down. The Honorable Karoli Omondi.
And 3 minutes, Senator Boni.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to speak strongly on your communication because there is an attempt in this country for certain people, irrespective of their status in society or the offices they hold, to belittle the role of institutions. Mr. Speaker, if we allow Parliament, and Senate in particular, to be challenged in the manner that the judges did, we will be weakening Parliament, and there might be a deliberate attempt, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that the powers where we sit as a trial chamber that maybe do not please the people who practice in the courts should be removed from the institution of Parliament so that it remains there preserved. Mr. Speaker, I want to agree with you that we must appeal. But Mr. Speaker, I have heard you. I want to request that you consider also factoring in the appeal what Justice, allow me to quote, what Justice Anthony Mrima said himself, without being prompted by the Counsel of the Senate. Mrima said, it must be emphasized that the Senate is not a mere conveyor belt for matters originating from the National Assembly or any other entity. He went on and added that it is a revered house vested with autonomy and empowered to make decisions by way of resolution, and therefore the Senate retains the discretion to determine whether to accept any motion or petition for further deliberation. He must be reminded that when he was thinking rationally, as I have quoted him, how was he expecting this Senate without any application from Senior Counsel Paul Mwite that his client had fallen ill? How, without evidence, did he expect the Senate with the kind of discretion that he has?
1 minute to conclude.
In conclusion, without that, for us to then agree with them, are they saying if somebody facing charges of robbery with violence flashes and dashes out of court, and his lawyers say, we don't know where he is, we don't know where he's going, then the judge immediately says that we discontinue the proceedings? No, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have gone to school properly. The purpose of university education is for you to have organized thinking, critical thinking, the capacity, Mr. Speaker, to see the difference between right and wrong. The judges were wrong yesterday on this one. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Kajwang.